You say F tight end, move tight end. That's what it is. I want people to think of the F tight end with the word flex. I think that might be the best way, but either way people want to do it.
Absolutely.
That's how I've been thinking of it. The F tight end, the flex tight end is what Dalton Kincaid is going to be for the Buffalo Bills. They have said that he's more of the F tight end.
Hmm.
Now you can have Dawson Knox do that, but why can both do it? What are their traits, and why is Dalton Kincaid going to be used so much in that role?
It's going to be interesting this year because it's not something the Bills did a lot of, especially if we're talking two tight end sets on the field at the same time. So the flex, the move tight end, I've heard it called a U. Either way, again, off the line of scrimmage, almost just like a slot receiver. A guy like Kincaid with his athleticism, his smooth movement, his great hands. He's really, before the balls have been snapped, as soon as they have two tight ends on the field, the defense has to match personnel, right? So are they going to send out this nickel if it is man coverage on Dalton Kincaid? Or are they going to bring in the third linebacker onto the field, bring in a Sam or a Will? And again, it'll interchange here, but that's really initially right off the bat. As soon as those two tight ends step on the field, the defense has to make a choice. And so having an F tight end like Kincaid, because of his athleticism and skill set, you're going to be able to do some things with him in the passing game, moving him around, again, dictating personnel, dictating defensive structures because of you're moving him around, putting him in a slot, maybe just off the wing. But more times not, again, the F is that move. He's off the line of scrimmage. He's a little more athletic than a traditional Y tight end. But again, you can use him like the Z, where you're going to insert him into the box more. And then again, now you're getting, if this is a nickel, you're bringing that guy into the box with the F. Now you have a physical advantage, an F, a tight end versus a nickel. So you can do some fun things with that. And that's
Yeah.
why this year is so exciting when you have a guy with Kincaid's skill set and athleticism and something we haven't seen from the Bills. So we're going to see some new wrinkles in the Ken Dorsey offense because of a move tight end like Dalton Kincaid.
We're going to get into the personnel packages the next time we talk so people know why Brandon Bean said 11 and a half. What is 12? What is 11? All that kind of stuff. But what's interesting here is you used earlier the example of the flanker being on the line and the X coming down. You could do this here as well. You could take the F
Mhm.
tight end. You could move that person on the line. Maybe they come out, they're lined up off the line,
Right.
and then they comes up on the line. And what happens to the X? The X can step back. There you go. There's your 7 on the line. And now you have X and Z both able to move. And you have two tight ends coming at you from either side. Now
Right.
the defense really has to make a choice. What is this player going to do? And I think that's why it's super interesting for the Bills, like you said, and how basically Brandon Beane termed Dalton Kincaid. He said he's going to be like Cole Beasley, but in a tight end's body.
Right.
Now, you wouldn't see Cole Beasley lining up with his hand in the ground where the F is right now, but you could see him on the line of scrimmage or off the line of scrimmage and allowing that X to do different things. That's why it's going to be really interesting. Now, let me ask you, coming into the NFL, a rookie like Dalton Kincaid, is that too much to ask of him? Or as long as you keep it a little more basic, he'll just be doing what he's normally been doing throughout his college days?
Right. Yeah. I think specifically for Kincaid, not because if you get into the conversation about tight ends and transitioning to the NFL,
Right.
it's a slow transition generally. But given what Kincaid did in college, you could see a little smoother transition for him. Again, when you talk about the Bills offense from that slot position and the option routes that they used with Cole Beasley, Isaiah McKenzie, and some of the slot receivers, Kincaid on his film, you saw that every game, almost every other rep, he's running those type of choice, leverage, option read type routes. And so you could see him functioning in the very same way in the passing game. With him, it's going to be more of that transition, kind of like Dawson Knox, where, hey, when they do want to bring him into the box to get that numbers leverage and that physical leverage in the run game, that's where he needs to get better, especially if you're talking online, on the line of scrimmage and starting to run the ball. He needs to strengthen up in that area and work on his technique. And I'm sure Rob Boris, the tight end coach, has been doing that since he's gotten his hands on him, this offseason. So the transition, I think, from college to the NFL for Kincaid can be a little smoother than the traditional conversation around tight ends.
Yeah.
But it's again, don't set your expectations too high because this is, again, it's a tough position when you're talking about those college offenses and the tight end position transitioning to the NFL.